Well, thank you for joining us. We are going to talk to you about your website. Trust me. Like, so anybody who's tuning in to get the interview, you got to wait a few minutes. I want to talk pre-release weekend first because I was excited. I got to play in 2 of them this weekend. I played one on Thursday night, and I specifically went there because of the fact that I could get product early. And then I played in one Saturday night with my son as well. Went 3-0 both days. I will say the second day, that Saturday, my Towson deck felt very meta. I easily hit 30 cards with having to figure out what I wanted to cut. I played the Father, by the way, which when you play the Father and then you don't really have anything to use your force with, it just sits there and people have to kill the Father. So, I like that, or not the Father. I'm sorry, the Son. I didn't play the Father. I played the Son. That was okay. Yeah,
that's significantly better.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, not the Father. No.
Much better.
5/10 8 cost guy. Yeah, the Son is terrifying.
Yeah, so that was, I had that and those Thrall Coven things that you love so much. I got 2 of those everything. So yeah, so I had a pretty good pre-release weekend. We'll get into a little bit more of the details of the tournaments here in a few minutes. Alex, did you play pre-release at all this weekend?
I mean, you can call it. I technically did play, yeah. The pool I got was impressively bad. Like, it was the worst out of any sealed thing that I've ever done. I've played more than 50 rounds of sealed. Like, it was really bad. So I threw in a couple off-aspect lightsabers to hit 30. I played a blue Maul. It was not okay. Nothing about it was particularly good. And I won round. I won 1 round against a guy who was second and third game of SWU was against me. So, I mean, I probably should not have even won a round. It was rough.
Fair
but
enough.
It was fun. It was always fun. Seal's my favorite format, so I'm always happy to play it in it.
Yeah, I think that, well, the trilogies format's going to become your favorite soon enough.
That will be my favorite because that is a blast.
And if you haven't yet, we have a video that we did on trilogies where we talked about why we liked it so much. And once we have a little bit more time, we'll actually, there's a probability we might even stream some trilogy games between Alex and I. Like that's like a thing that we can do now that we have set 5 dropping. So like once we kind of get enough of our cards sorted, like I do kind of want to do some trilogies streaming, maybe at least like once a month. Alex and I will get together and play trilogies online.
We're just gonna play the same decks at each other though.
No. We'll set some rules up where we have to be different.
You're not gonna play a Palpatine deck.
Yes, I won't play Palpatine. I'll play Chancellor deck. That's what I'll do. Or I'll play a Jabba deck. Let's put some fun things on the table. Let's make it the jankiest of the jank decks. Tournaments. There you go. So like nothing meta in any way, shape, or form. Meta decks.
Trench isn't meta, but
no, you can't play. If you bring Trench, I'm just vetoing it now, and then I know I get all the good cards because you can't play Vigilance in any other deck. So I'm just gonna veto your Trench deck. If you bring Trench, I'm vetoing it.
Michael has no context for this. We played a Trench deck that is the hardest control deck there is.
Yeah, think of
played
blue.
Like 14 units. It was like nothing. It was just all control. It was funny.
There's a local dude here where I'm at that really likes those types of decks. He did it with Afra,
Nice.
and that was horrifically unfun to play against.
Yeah, so think of like the Iden blue deck that used to exist.
Yeah,
And this is worse than
Worse?
that. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I remember the first time I played against the Vader blue when it became a thing. And that was a real quick one game. Was like, cool. I don't want to do this again.
At least you can
That's
interact
enough
with
for
that,
me.
though.
Yeah, we don't play units. Our units are Avenger, 1 tech, Bounty Hunter crew to get the card to get the vigilances and restocks back, and Bazines, and then we also play Trench himself, like the actual leader, because you can play him multiple times.
Right.
And that's it. Those are the units of the whole deck. Nothing else is units.
That sounds kind of fun to play, to be honest.
It
It
is.
was a really hard puzzle. Once you hit like 12 resources, the deck actually functions pretty well.
Oh, that's perfect. That's what you
Just gotta
want. You
get
usually
there.
want
Yeah.
your deck to turn on at 12 resources. That's
Yeah,
what I
12
go for
resources.
if
I could
I'm
play like 2
below
cards
that.
a turn, and it feels great.
The first time I played this, so Alex built this deck, and then like, you got to try this deck, and I was like, all right. He's like, don't take it to locals, and then I did. And there's a guy, his name is Sam, and he was playing Han Data Vault, and this is God, this has got to be
On
back
two?
in no Han 1 Data Vault.
On one data.
Yep, and it's got to be back in April, maybe. It was before he went home from college. Anyway, so it's just our local. I show up to it first game. I get first opponent. I get my hand spanked, and I was like, all right, man, maybe this is Alex is crazy. This is not working. In the second game, I played against him, and I milled his deck, his whole deck. Like I
With
milled it
Data Vault.
with his Data Vault deck on top of his smuggle crap. Like we went through his smuggle resources. So then he got pissed and put his whole sideboard in. So now he's at like 72 cards in his deck, and I milled it a second time. The game probably was way over time, but I milled the shit out of it both times. And he just like, he's like, I hate this deck. And then like, I don't know, like it's like a month later, I use like a pseudonym online when I play on the online engines, and he shows up and he uses his name, so I know who it is, and it's got the trench deck, and I'm playing my Vader yellow deck, and he goes, I go, oh, you're running a trench deck, that's kind of cool, and he's like, oh yeah, I got my ass handed to me, so I really needed to, I want to play this deck just so I can figure out how to beat it. And I wanted to be like, well, you're not going to win against Vader Yellow, just so you know. And so then, like halfway through the game, he's like, "Oh,
No, you're
GG,
not.
I don't think I can beat you." And I was like, "I know. Actually, I know how to beat this deck." And he's like, "Oh, you do?" And I was like, "Yeah, I know the person who built this deck." And he's like, "Oh," and then I was like, "It's Tanner." And he's like, "Oh, you fucker! Why did you not say something to me?" So I just played him, but he didn't even know it was me the whole time. He was so pissed. But that deck does
Way
not
off tangent.
does
Way
not
off tangent there.
yeah, sorry. That's not even pre-release weekend. Now we're just talking about trench decks again. See, this is the problem. When you put Alex and I together without JJ, it's like always trench. That's what this is. Like trench is at a new low price-wise for his showcase. So if you want one,
How cheap is it?
I saw someone sell it for $35. I was like, baby, I wish I would have waited and picked mine up then. I paid, I think 50 or 55 for mine.
Oh, the horror. You know,
Yeah.
Well, Michael, how was your pre-release weekend?
mine
Yes.
mine
yes.
was good. Mine was good. I hit 2 yesterday and 1 today, and I played Snoke Blue in my first one, which was really
I love Snoke.
awesome. Yeah. So like the highlights there. So all the pre-releases in our with our just local community, I don't know what it is exactly, but they're very unstructured. Everybody's fine with it, but that's just like the way the community kind of does it. Is like we do the pre-release. Some shops do best of one. Other shops do best of 3. There's one shop that's like really structured, and then a lot of them are just kind of like, yeah, go do whatever you want. But so this one was best of 1, and I went 2-1, and the first game that I won, I don't know what the unit is called. I can't remember, but it's that new villainy only 2/6 grit unit for 4. And I put the Consumed by the Dark Side on that, and then just started snoking him and was swinging this guy for 14, and that was great.
The Sand Troopers.
Yeah.
Gallery, yeah.
Yeah, the Sand Trooper dude. Yeah. Yep.
Oh man, Consumed by the Dark Side on that is disgusting.
Blows for that deck as well, which was cool. And then the second pre-release I did, I played Obi Red, and that was probably the best pre-release deck I've ever played in this game out of all sets. It was crazy. I had Kiadi, I had Mace, I had removal with It's Worse. I just had like the perfect force curve and just crushed 3-0 the whole thing. And then the final one was Kanan Red, and that was super fun. I somehow pulled 15 creatures or something like that, and was just 5/8 Kanan swinging every game. So it was fun. I had a good pre-release weekend.
Nice.
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit before we move off pre-releases. Let's actually talk a little bit about like our predictions and kind of the different things. So, I played Telson and Maul Blue. I went 3-0 for both of them. I dropped one game with Maul. I dropped one game to a what was it, to a Cal? I think it was a Cal. I dropped one game to a Cal. And then I played Telson Red, and my Telson was kind of like your Obi. Like, I had the perfect curve. I had like everything I need. I had 3 of the stupid Telson's assassins that I pulled. I don't even know how I got those. Like,
Yeah,
like
that's
it's
great.
just like Merry Christmas to me. I had a DACA in that deck, so like I had that, I had a DACA, and like I felt bad because my first round opponent was this younger kid, and I've seen him around, but I felt really bad for him because he sits down with Cal, and like we're playing, and we get to the the 4 resources, and he's a little like flustered, I think, because I'm just killing all his units with my stuff. And then he like I've got my resources spent and my units are all tapped, and he claims because he wanted to go first. I was like, you don't want to flip Cal? And he's like, well, you're just gonna kill him. And I was like, okay, yes, but like you could get 3 damage in, if you wanted. And he's like, well, you got a Sentinel on the board. And I was like, okay, well, that's fine. Let's just go to the next round then. He didn't bring Cal out. Like I brought Telson out before he even brought Cal out. Then he finally brings Cal out, and then I just dropped the stupid Telson's assassin, and then swung in with Telson and killed Cal, and it didn't
have to touch him.
I didn't even have to kill him. No,
You didn't have to attack him.
No.
You gave him the -4/-4 eventually.
Yep. He did get his one swing off. He got 3 damage off with it that game, and then the second game, like he opened with like, and I felt bad because he didn't play a bunch of force openers, so he like had all these spaceships, and I was just like, so then the one time I sighted in, I had 2 of those supremacy ties. I just added those. I just threw those in for the second game because that first game he opened with 2 spaceships, and they were a pain in the butt to kill. Like I had to use a sorcerer's blast on one and Telson, and I had to kill my own what's her name? I can't remember her name. Karis or whatever.
Karis,
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just like it was a pain in the butt to kill those. So I just threw those in, and then the second game when I threw those in, he swung, instead of swinging in with the 3-2, he swung in with a 2-4, and then it didn't kill it. And then like I was like, you could take that back if you want. No, I have a plan. Okay. Yep. So he traded 2 ships into my one, and I just didn't know. I felt bad for him, like he obviously he didn't know how to play Cal. So. But he did get Qui-Gon, and I'll tell you what, when Qui-Gon came on the board, that was a little scary because like Qui-Gon just killed something that lived, and then killed something the next turn too and lived.
And then dump something on the top of your deck.
and then bounces something.
Right, so 3
Yeah.
for 1 2, yeah. That Supremacy Tie is sneaky good. I love that card. That's amazing. That's everything I've ever wanted for Kira. Ever.
Yep, because you can now shield
Give
it
a
too.
shield, yeah.
Mhm.
So Village Protectors in space. So build your own Village Protectors. And it comes out of Vader.
And the other card that was like primo, and I don't know if this card will be good in construct in Premiere, but that Nameless Terror, hands down, like I put that in my Maul deck. I had 2 of them, and it like people just didn't kill it, and I'm like, I don't know why you're not killing. You should just kill this thing. This should be the first thing you kill because I just disable your force use.
Yeah.
Every time.
Crazy.
So
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna disable your force, and like I'll swing in. I don't care. Like do whatever you want. I had to play a Maul yellow mirror, which was hilarious because we literally had almost identical units except for I had that Nameless Terror, and like other than that, we were playing the exact same cards, like next to each other. And it just happened to be I went to his base twice more than he went to mine because he was trading my units in. And the only advantage that gave him was when he traded into like and got rid of my Maul. That made it a little bit harder when I lost Maul. But
You guys with your good cards. It's killing me with this talk.
I didn't get 4 assassins or whatever.
3.
Crazy. Well, that's still more than 1. And my good cards are all coming sets of 1, I think.
Yeah, most of mine were that. Those were the one things that I had that were actually like good. Were those. So And it was only in my. That's why I play Talzin. I was like, all right, this tells me play Talzin. That's what it says. Is play Talzin.
Definitely.
I had the Priestesses of the Force, and I dropped it down and gave 5 unit shields, and my 6th unit was already shielded because of the secreted stage. And then I lost because I did like 4 damage to their base the whole game. I couldn't do anything, but I did it. I had 6 shielded units.
Yeah,
no one did that in the pre-release. I can guarantee that.
No, my son had that card, but he didn't have that many units out. But my son also pulled a Sidious card with his Maul, and I had to play him.
Yeah,
that was that. Huh?
You can get that in a pack.
Yep, we found that out.
It's in foils and hyperspaces, yeah.
Right, I forget that they did that, yeah.
So when he was playing, he was my 1 game loss in my round 3 with my Talzin deck, and because he was able to get all my units to like 3 health, and I didn't think about it. I even saw him pull it, and I just didn't think about it. And then all of a sudden he dropped it, and he's like, "Yeah, your whole board's wiped." I'm like, "No, all right, yep, you're right. God damn it!" And it's like he won that game because like there was no coming back from that. I was even ahead on damage, and it didn't matter. He wiped my whole board. I was like, oh. So anyway, those are kind of
glass on a budget.
Yeah, exactly. So those are our pre-release weekends. Here's kind of what we predicted, like leader wise. So how do we do, right? Like, so we only know our experiences, but I think if we look at this a little bit, like I think Talzin did exactly what we thought she would. I actually think Ahsoka, like you guessed Ahsoka pretty correctly, Alex. I think that was definitely a really good guess because there's a couple of people at one of the ones, the first day they didn't play Ahsoka, and the second day the guy was playing Ahsoka, and I was like, "Did you watch the show?" But yeah, the Ahsoka call was good. I think we all knew Obi was going to be good, and Third Sister was just. I had a guy that just that almost beat me with my Maul deck because he just had super good. He didn't even have to use Third Sister's ability ever. Like, just my God. I think stocks were up on Maul, and we had a Kit Fisto that went 3-0 and 2-1 each day, which is just crazy to me. Like, I didn't think Kit Fisto would be that good. And
it really depends on how many Jedis you pull, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, it was super efficient. It must have been like that Obi deck was.
Was it Kid Fisto was good or Ray's more unplayable? Pick it off, right? Like
that I don't know. I think Ray might have been unplayable. I don't know though. Most of our games all went to like 8-9 resources though. So like, I mean, I think you could still get Ray out, right? I mean, people were getting Kylo out, but I think stocks are down on my stocks were down on Kylo and Qui-Gon. I just don't think there was enough in the pre-release packs to benefit Qui-Gon as much as what we thought there was going to be. I mean, he still is super good. And he is able, to pick up units and play units like cheaper, but I just think that like he isn't able to build. He wasn't. None of the Qui-Gon players I talked to were able to build a big enough board presence to actually benefit to use his power. I didn't get
abilities more like healing the units that he already played more so than like any direct benefit in my mind. But
and a lot of times, for the most part. I played against a Qui-Gon and you just control their units and not worry about it. And it's like, okay, well, if you could play 2 units a turn, I have a bigger issue. But by that time, I had enough damage on board. It didn't matter. Snoke, I thought Snoke was going to be insanely good, but like all the Snoke players seem to struggle with it unless you got like really good villain units. Yeah, because
our Snoke players just crushed the whole tournament.
Yeah,
that's what my experience was. Snoke just steamrolled. So did Obi. Those were the 2 that just.
Yeah, the Obi one definitely, especially Obi Red, seemed to like just really just. Obi Red was because Obi's ability not having anything but the ability to use the Force, like you can upgrade whatever unit you want. But like the Kylo, I think the Maul felt better than Kylo. We'll put it that way, and better than Qui-Gon.
I mean, I functionally went 0-3 with Maul.
I know you did, but you had bad pulls, so there you go.
I like Maul, for what it's worth. I think
fair enough.
I think he's decent in pre-release.
I'm pretty sure I did so much damage to my own units with Maul, not by choice. But they had 1 unit, but it doesn't matter because that unit's swinging for like 9 because it's Snoke. So I'm just doing 1 damage to that and to my own unit.
Fair enough.
It was awful.
Yeah, that is fair.
Yeah, I think Snoke just predicated if you got enough villain units in. Like each pre-release, I only had 3 green villain units. That was it. Like I had Snoke in both pools, but it was like now I don't have any villainy units. You know, like I had too many commons and.
The one guy I played, he didn't have like too many villainy units in his Snoke deck either, but he just had a bunch of really good stuff, so he just ran me over.
Yeah, we had a guy.
Snoke himself though just wins. You flip, and then he just keeps growing
Bumping himself.
And, yeah, and just that alone is terrifying because you have no Rival's Fall doesn't exist.
The removal basically doesn't exist in this
Yes,
set. There's
correct.
Like 4
Crushing
removal
Blow
cards.
is not helping us.
Yeah, it's like Crushing Bro, like Shatter Point is pretty solid. And that's kind of your
one with the Force or whatever the
removal.
-3/-3 is. That's really good.
A Whirlwind of Power.
That one, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know where I got one with the Force, but yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Yeah, there's a couple like negative cards, like minus cards that are out there, but a lot of it's not like direct damage. I mean, I had like triple Purge Trooper, which is the only reason why I went with red, because that just does 2 damage to a Force unit. And then I played against 2 Snokes that weren't running a lot of Force units, so that didn't really do much.
Yeah, I made that mistake like all the time. Like people had to be like, your Purge Trooper only does damage to Force units. Oh fuck. Okay, I'm still gonna play it anyway. It's a 4/2.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was kind of our pre-releases. You know, let us know in the comments how your pre-release went. Like, I think that's like the big thing is like tell us how it is. I have at least one more I'm playing in, if not 2. I haven't decided how much money I really want to spend. I bought 4 boxes this time and a Carbonite box. So I did have some gift cards though. So I had some store credit from a tournament I won. I had like $80 in store credit, and then I had like $100 gift card from my wife. So like my boxes were a lot cheaper than they should have been, so I was able to get a Carbonite box for it. But let us know how your pre-releases went. I gotta go. That's what I'm doing tomorrow. Is I have to go through all my cards to see which ones I'm missing, so that way I know if I really want to play in 2 more or not. So, all right. I think that's enough pre-release talk. We spent enough time. I don't even know how long we spent, but we spent some time on some pre-release. It's exciting though. I like pre-release time. We only get that like every 3 months, or every 4 months.
It's exciting. It's like I don't know. The whole weekend is just like feels like Christmas.
Yeah.
Everybody's psyched. I don't know. It's really good.
Yeah.